Less than 2% of all entrepreneurs succeed in building a self-sustaining business. Now, these are the words of Derek Lidow in his book, Startup Leadership. But he also says that there are 5 essential skills to master to avoid this disaster. And that is what we are going to cover in this video coming up. Hello and welcome to Business Leaders Coach YouTube channel. My name is Toye Oshunbi, and on this channel I take some of the best business, leadership or personal development books and try to help you save time by condensing the information and turn the knowledge from these books into actionable steps so that you can apply, get results, build a flourishing business, and have a great life. So if you are a CEO, founder, entrepreneur, business leader, consider subscribing so that you can get more content just like this, and it also will support the growth of this channel. Now, in his book, Startup Leadership, How Savvy Entrepreneurs Turn Their Ideas into Successful Enterprises by Derek Lidow, Derek uncovers 5 essential skills that every startup leader needs to master. And that's what we're going to cover in this video. And the reason is because all entrepreneurs face a common challenge, me included. And as mentioned at the beginning, it's a sobering statistic that less than 2% of all entrepreneurs succeed in building a self-sustaining business. Yes, just 2%. Now, the reason why this is critical is because although we say that entrepreneurs can help change the world, well, it's only those that build a sustainable business that are really having the impact. Now, the reason why many entrepreneurs fail, according to Derek, is that first and foremost, they come up with a great idea, they secure funding. Now, that's not always the case, but in many situations that happens. And if they go down that route, then they might face numerous challenges. But even if they don't go down that route, most likely you're still going to face challenges, just to get the business off the ground. Now, the real big takeaway that I took from this book is the mindset shift. And that is that being an entrepreneur is not enough. That you need to grow from an entrepreneur, and that's someone that has taken action on their business idea, right, to start their business. And you need to transition to become an entrepreneurial leader. And that's the journey of growth that makes the difference. And that's what Derek uncovers in this book. So, if you are a startup leader, you definitely got to read this, or at least glean from this, because he highlights some really key important things. Now, Derek has identified 5 common challenges that most entrepreneurs face while they're working on starting and growing their business. I'm going to break them down. Number 1 is creating entrepreneurial strategy. And this is a challenge because figuring out what the strategy is key. And this is about understanding how to find and engage customers effectively that builds a sustainable strategy to deliver on your promise to the customer. Finding the customer. Number 1 challenge of most startup businesses is defining who your customer is. Number 2, structuring the enterprise. As your organization grows, you're going to need to establish organizational structure. And this goes beyond the organizational chart, but it does involve defining roles and responsibilities, and many entrepreneurs find that challenging as they are growing their business. Number 3 is hiring and firing. Recruiting the right talent and letting go of the wrong fits. This can be challenging, but that's a major challenge that many companies need to figure out as they are growing. And these are things that Derek has highlighted as one of the common challenges as well. Number 4, forming and leading teams. This leadership skill is crucial, being able to build teams. In today's world, people want to be influenced. They don't want to be told what to do. So how do you engage people? How do you build an independent team? These are some of the essential skills that any entrepreneur that's starting a business needs to master. A lot of what happens sometimes is they delegate these essential things rather than them learning these things themselves. Number 5, leading through crisis. Businesses will have its ups and downs, and so being able to navigate these tumultuous times is vital, especially since we are now living in a VUCA world. So these are the challenges that he identified, and I don't know if they're common to you, but definitely these are things that I've seen in my coaching and I go through even in my own business as well. So then he helps us to clarify, how do we then solve this? And well, it's essential to turn these challenges. Sometimes you can turn a challenge into a question, and then you can start thinking of how to solve the problem, right? So here are some questions that you can have in order to start attacking any of these areas that I'm going to give to you, that you can start to think about right away. You can gather your team to put these questions out so that you and your team can work on this. Number one, we talked about this creating entrepreneurial strategy and about the customer. Well, a good questions to start with is, how best can we find the real customer? And that's going to really help to define your target audience and your customer that buys and buys again and again. That's the first thing. The second thing about structure, well, you can ask the question, how best do we structure the organization? And this is a question that you need to be asking each time the company grows to that next level, because perhaps it needs a restructure. And that's why asking this question again and again is going to help. Number three, how best do we find and hire the right people? What's the process for firing? That's a good question to ask. Number four, how best do we build successful teams? And number five, how best do we lead through periods of crisis? Now, I'm deeply passionate about this topic because, as I said, entrepreneurs and leaders have the power to change the world. This is one of the reasons why I started Business Leaders Coach, to support entrepreneurs to become great leaders and great entrepreneurs in their business. And so because your idea and your business can enhance society, can improve the welfare of your community. But unfortunately, as John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls on leadership. To grow your business, you must first grow yourself. And that's exactly what Derek talks about in his book. And he says that in order to do this, you need to know yourself. And Derek points out three crucial areas. Number one, he talks about motivation. And he says you need to ask yourself, what drives you to be an entrepreneur? It could be you want to be your own boss. It could be you want to be in control of your own time. It could be that you want to fulfill some kind of calling or something else. And I normally talk about this with my clients. I say, what's your purpose? What's your why? What is it? Why are you doing this? And I think it's really important that we are all clear on why we're starting our business, so that we have that end goal in mind. Number two, he talks about understanding our traits, knowing your personality profile. He said this is crucial. And there are various ways of how you can test this. Myers-Briggs, I've got Tetramap, different things, because you're going to find out whether you're analytical, whether you're direct, whether you're amiable, whether you're a creative type of person. And I think it's just really helpful for you to know your default mode so that you're building a team. You also know how to complement your own strengths. And then number three, skills. And he talks about self-awareness being the foundational skill, because that's what's going to help you develop all the other essential areas. Now, we're going to get into the good stuff, but I just want to mention something that's important. Again, we're trying to beat the 2% statistics. And so what Derek has identified, he's identified 5 key skills that we need to master. And the first one is self-awareness, right? Self-awareness, because that's going to help us with the other 4. The second is enterprise basics. And what he means by enterprise basics, he's talking about strategy. He's talking about sales and marketing. He's talking about, especially that first stage of your business, really defining your customer, knowing who the target audience is, and then building a structure around that. And he talks about 4 stages of business growth, which I'm not going to cover in this video, but that's something that you can cover if you read the book. The third thing is relationship building, the skill of building relationships, how essential that is, and how that evolves as you grow your business. The fourth, he calls it motivation, but I want to use the word inspiration. How to inspire others to follow your vision is an essential skill as you're growing your business. And then skill number 5 is leading change. How to navigate through all the challenges that you are going to go through as you are growing your business. So you can see how this is linked actually to my summary of the book, The Mind of the Leader, and you can watch it over here. And that's about the 3 circles of leadership. And also you can watch the CEO Next Door, where I talk about the 4 behaviors of great leaders, because that's also linked, and you can watch that over there as well. So to enhance your self-awareness, I want to recommend that you implement something that I call the 5 daily habits. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I've talked about this. This plan involves daily activities that can help you be self-aware in these key areas. Number 1 is think. And so you can start your day by asking yourself, what's my thought for the day? How do I intentionally put the key things that are important to me at the forefront of my mind? Ensure that your thoughts align with your goals, and you can write that down. Number 2, plan. Identify and plan one of the 3 actions that brings you closer to your objectives. And then number 3 is do, where you can make effort. You make every effort to execute on your plan of action, because we can so easily get distracted. So you want to make sure that you're hitting those 3 things, or at least one, so you're moving forward in the direction that you want to go. Number 4, reflect. At the end of the day or the beginning of the next day, you can reflect on what went well, what could I have done better, and what am I grateful for. And just by answering those 3 questions, you're going to be self-aware. You're going to be more in tune of where you're going and how you can navigate and redirect yourself back on the path. And then number 5, learn. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? And by keeping a journal to record your insights, that's how you can develop your own development plan that can help you in this area. Now I've got a question for you before I go. Since the 5 daily habits is going to help you become more self-aware, which of the other 4 skills do you need to work on right now? Is it enterprise basics? Is it relationship building? Is it how to inspire and motivate others? Or is it leading change? You can put your answers in the comments below. That would be fantastic. I'd love to hear where you need to focus on. And by the way, if you also want to know how we learn, you can also watch this video here, where you can use the PACE acronym to develop your development plan. So there you have it. These steps will help you become more focused on your journey as a startup leader. And you simply just need to take action by examining your motivations and traits and start to apply one of these skills. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, keep thriving.